Think we good. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I'm joined my co-host, my brother from another mother. Blood couldn't make us any closer. One of the best photographers in the world, my brother, Santana. Say something to the people.
Good was good. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all could have been anywhere else, but y'all here with us tonight. For that, we thank you. And as always, we got a jam-packed show, so we're gonna get right into it.
Absolutely. Again, we want to thank y'all. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11,000 subscribers. So continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. Don't forget to tap into the membership portion of the page. Different memberships get different access. Also, there's merchandise in the link. So make sure y'all tap in, tap in, tap in. Also, thank you to our presenting sponsor of tonight's podcast, Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button the hyphenated sign snaps.com. Make sure y'all tap in. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. First segment of the night, popular opinions. This segment is brought to you by by OUV Records, where the label model is create, document, and inspire. So make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. All right, y'all. Again, shout out to some of our day ones that's already in the building. Appreciate you. And this is your first time tapping in. Thank you for tapping in. We, enjoy the view and the likes. So again, our show was built off that. It's not built off bots or anything of that magnitude. So continue to show that love. Quick shout out to Treatment in the building. Shout out to Winter. Shout out to Coach. Shout out to King P, one of our badge holders. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Shout out to T in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. And y'all don't forget to stay engaged in the chat, man. All right, man. Let's start this off, bro. First popular opinion question of the night. And remember, y'all, these are the world's questions. These are not our questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. All right? All right. Best 1991 movie on this list. Best 1991 movie on this list. Number one, JFK. Number two, Silence of the Lamb. Number three, Boys in the Hood. Number four, Thelma and Louise. Again, best movie on this list from 1991. Number one, JFK. Number two, Silence of the Lamb. Number three, Boys in the Hood. Number four, Thelma and Louise. Which one you going with, bro?
Uh,
Boys in the Hood. Why Boys in the Hood?
Classic out of all of them.
Mhm. It's like all these movies when they came out, they was supposed to be the biggest thing hitting. I seen all of them, obviously not during 91 because we was little kids. You know what I'm saying? Half of these movies we shouldn't have been watching anyway at any part of our childhood, but we still managed to watch them. But all these movies are fire, to be honest with you. Oh man, Silence of the Lamb, bro, was like different for me mainly because you got Buffalo Bill out here just snatching up shorties, putting them in wells, telling them to lotion up before he bodied them. He's like, yo, put the lotion back in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? He want that nice, silky, smooth skin before he body bag them. You know what I'm saying? All in a while, you got top tier FBI agents looking for Buffalo Bill. He's in his basement dancing in his undies and just trying on women's clothing, like you know what I'm saying, talking to the mirror, like, yo, you think I'm sexy? Like, yo, bro, you gotta chill. You know what I'm saying? So, Silence of the Lamb for me is not my pick, but I see why it's on this list. JFK is just an excellent movie. So people should watch JFK. Boys in the Hood is a classic. Thelma Louise is a classic, but the movie's kind of stupid, dog. All the events happen out of just sheer just people feeling the type of way, just sheer emotion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with Boys in the Hood as well. I'm agreeing with you. So I'm going with Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood is a classic fire movie. That movie resonate with me the most, and I think mainly because not the kids, it's the parents in this movie, and you had all different types of parents and how they had their styles and things of that nature, on which would be most effective. But the parents' roles in this movie really resonated with me because how they try to reach each kid, and they actually had different relationships with each kid, each parent on Ricky's mom, from Dre's mom to Dre's dad. Like everybody had their own relationship with each individual kid. So I just thought that movie was extremely interesting. So again, I'm going with Boys in the Hood. My pro going with Boys in the Hood. The rest of the world at 37%. I'm seeing Boys in the Hood in the chat as well. I did see Silence of the Lamb in the chat. I did see Silence of the Lamb in the chat as well. The rest of the world at 37% went with Silence of the Lamb. What do you think about that?
Was a interesting movie. I'm saying showcased how um I'm saying when you have your dark passenger, you do all types of, you know what I'm saying, wicked deeds, and you put, you know what I'm saying, people in deep in basement, other third level of your basement, you know what I'm saying? You walking around in female attire and you just doing all types of outlandish things, you know what I'm saying, in the movie and stuff. So, and especially for it coming on that in the 90s, like when it did. So it was definitely pivotal. So I can understand why they chose that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great movie. I named all the reasons why I thought it was great as well. So I can see why people picked that. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. Best Nintendo video game. I know we're going way back on this one. Best Nintendo video game on this list. Best Super Nintendo. I'm sorry, Super Nintendo video game on this list. Number one, Super Mario 3. Number two, Super Contra. Number three, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Number four, Tecmo Super Bowl.
Mario 3, hands down. One of the best for me. One of the best, on that list.
Nothing but a good time.
Oh, but the best time. You know what
The finest of quality of time.
I'm saying? Tier at Super NES quality. You know what I'm saying?
Super Mario 3 was fire. All these games is like this is the cool class of video games for Super Nintendo. So everybody that's in this class is on that level. For me, I'm gonna say Tecmo Super Bowl. I played that probably more than any other game on this list, and probably ever in Super Nintendo history. That game was absolute fire to me, where you had to run up and down the score, you know what I'm saying, get them 80-yard runs. You got to use Barry Sanders, Bo Jackson, and a couple other great players that was in that game. Thurman Thomas was popping at the time too. So that game to me was so pivotal, so fire. And I'm gonna go with Tecmo Super Bowl. Me and my boys used to have wars in the crib with that game. So I'm definitely saying Tecmo Super Bowl. My brother went with Super Mario 3. The rest of the world at 52%. And I should have said this, but I don't cheat the process. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What do you think about that?
Fun. It was also a fun game too, so can't knock it.
Ninja Turtles was fire. It was just hard, bro. Pause. That game was just like, cause the foot is tooling you up, bro. It's like if the foot is tooling me up, what's going to happen by the time I get to Casey Jones, and then like they had Casey Jones rock with the Turtles. Then when it come to Bebop and Rocksteady, now we get to Bebop and Rocksteady. I done hit Bebop at least 11 times. Energy went down like this. It was like, yo, bro, like that game was super hard. So by the time you get to Shredder, you can forget about it. Like Shredder boobop the whole turtles at one time. It's like, yo, that game was super hard. So pause. So I'm again, that was a dope game, but 52% went with that. All right, y'all. Last question for popular opinions. If you was the owner of an NFL team in the NFC East, which team would you own? Number one, the New York Giants. Number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 3, the Washington Commanders. I hate that name. Number 4, the Dallas Cowboys. What are y'all going with in the chat? And what you going with, bro?
I'm owning the team. I'm not the general manager. I own the team. I make the rules. I could fire whoever I want, hire whoever I want.
Mm-hmm.
Half day in, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get a couple of cats from, you know what I'm saying? We just gonna pull cats from all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we gonna have tryouts, you know what I'm saying? We just gonna get all types of things that's just passionate about the game. You know what I'm saying? Try out on Saturday, July 2nd, you know what I'm saying? New ownership, you heard? You know what I'm saying? Whole lot of bacon, egg, and cheese on the side for morning. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a whole lot of fun, you know what I'm saying? The metal ground's gonna be lit if I own.
Now, would you move the Giants from New Jersey to New York City? That's my only question if you took over the Giants.
Thing, right? If I gonna move the Giants, I'm gonna have to move it a place where everybody could get to it. You feel me? We need a whole city conversion. So I will probably have to go to, like, it's gonna sound crazy, but hear me out. I'm probably gonna go to somewhere in LI.
Not a
Why?
bad.
Why? Because it's a lot of space, and then you get all them Long Island cats coming through. They don't gotta go mad for the Jersey. We right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right,
Somewhere where the Long Islanders play. You know what I'm saying?
right.
We may have to, like, borrow some land from them niggas, but we gonna make it work. So I would move it to, like, Garden City or something. You know what I'm saying? And we just gonna get a whole new plethora of New Yorkers, just conversion on the bacon, egg, and cheese on July 2nd that morning when we have open tryouts. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, honestly, if the Giants was anywhere in New York City, it should be Long Island.
It's gonna be too much cluster in Queens. We already got some in Queens. We already got the Knicks and on the Nets. And I feel we just bring another team for Long Island. That's just gonna, you know what I'm saying, just bring the essence of New York just that much closer. You know
But more importantly, it's the space. Long Island has more than enough space
what I'm
to
saying?
make
We need the
it happen.
space and it's cause less traffic and who wants to go to Jersey anyway? You know what I'm saying? That's just we ain't trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? We the New York Giants. When you gotta be on New York soil. That's how I rock over here. You know what I'm saying? We need that dirty New York water. And you know what I'm saying? You need your toes in that dirty New York water. That's how you a New Yorker. You know?
Yeah, yeah. That's to me. That's like one of the biggest misnomers of the New York Giants. How they just misrepresent. But hey, but my bro said he would pick the New York Giants. Me personally, if I was an NFC owner of this particular division, I would have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with the Cowboys, dog. I have to go with the Cowboys. Reason being, I'm gonna have to go with the Cowboys is because they're in Dallas, Texas. Well, they more so in Irvin. They either Arlington or Irvington. I think they're in Arlington, but they're in the area of Dallas. And if anybody ever been to Dallas, Texas, it's huge. It's spread out. They have enough space. You have diehard fans. The colors is fire, and then there's no state taxes. I'm all about my money on. There's no state taxes, so I can make my money on, still pay the feds, but state, I'm good, baby. And then with the type of money and the type of jobs that I'm bringing into the state, yo, on the Fed side, like talk to me nice, like hook me up with a little court, you know what I'm saying, a little tax cut, you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna choose the Dallas Cowboys. The brand is huge, pause, and yeah, and the order the name the reasons why I named. So I went with the Cowboys. My bro went with the New York Football Giants. In the chat, I saw the Cowboys in the chat. Most of all, I saw the Cowboys in the chat. The rest of the world at 48% went with the Dallas Cowboys. What do you think about that? Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't say Philadelphia Eagles because in the real world, in real life, Philadelphia be cheating. Like they do something that most NFL teams don't do, and that's that they exercise common sense. They actually look at film and say, okay, this guy is the best guy on the field. We should draft him. We should play him. We should start him. We should put him on our team just so we could build him up. And in 2 years, who knows? He might be a superstar. If he don't, there's no scratch off our, whatever, pause, and we could just let him rock. Other teams, they look at that same film and same tape and be like, yo, this guy is real good. And a lot of teams be like, yeah, bump all that. Let's get this dude over here that looked like he could play some football. Not the dude that can play some football. He looks like he could play some football. So that's why I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles be cheating. So because they one of the teams that actually exercise common sense. The Commanders, though, I'm surprised people didn't say the Commanders because of Jaden Daniels. He's a baller, and Magic Johnson be having the magic touch on programs because he's the only owner I know that is part of ownership groups, and whatever team he owns, they win championships. That's not a surprise. The Dodgers, obviously the Lakers, and now he's a part of that ownership group that owns the Commanders. So I'm not surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised at the Commanders. I hate that name. They should go back to the Redskins, win the Super Bowl in the near future. So I would not be surprised. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, y'all. Our next segment, Hollywood Need to Ask Us. We came up with the segment because Hollywood is just not creative enough to give us the movies that we either asking for or just pique our interest. They hit a home run with the original IP recently with Sinners, but we're just talking about one movie. All right, more ideas, better ideas, and we got them. Me and my bro feel like we got great ideas for TV shows, documentaries, or movies. Are you want to start this one? They said go New England Patriots. Shout out to Noah. All right, yeah. Oh, I thought you said you was going to say, all right, cool. So I want to see, Hollywood Need to Ask Us, I want to see a movie based on the Met Gala. The Met Gala was supposed to be like the origins of the Met Gala was supposed to be like a metropolitan type of event where people come together and put on their flyest of clothes. Now it morphed into it morphed into the type of clothes that they're wearing. There's always a hidden agenda behind these clothes. I mean, a part of wearing your flyest clothes is something that you would actually wear, in my opinion. A lot of these people they pull up to the Met Gala with with bathroom curtains with the whole thing around them, and they got the water. Like they get real just ridiculous with it. And it's like that's not even something you will wear in the street. So I want to see the origins of the Met Gala because now, in my opinion, the Met Gala has become something that's more secret society esque. And we see the people going in, they take their pictures, but what happens on the inside? We don't never see nothing what's going on the inside. How did they say that these people are the flyest of people? Because half the people that go is just celebrities. They half of them are not even known for being fashionable. They just celebrities that buy expensive clothes. Buying expensive things don't make you fashionable. Like where's the local dude in the city that gets busy with the clothes day in day out? So it's to me it's not a representation, a true representation of fashion. So I want to see the origins and what the Met Gala, like what's really going on in the Met Gala. Just me personally. And like we just had Holly Berry. I don't know if you've seen the picture with Holly Berry. She pulled up with damn near like a half see through. You could see, damn near see her box. You know what I'm saying? At 50 something years old, she in there with that outfit on, which is crazy. So I want to see that based on the Met Gala. What do you think about that?
questionable clothing, right, to walk this strip or whatever. But then once you get inside, you know what I'm saying, you inside now. So it's like, okay, I guess they don't got. I guess they don't. I guess they follow the rules in there. But when you go to a Diddy party, it's all no holds barred, right? Y'all just do whatever y'all want. But when it's come Met Gala time and it's time to party and they extort you for 50K, everything is cool. You know what I'm saying? But when Big U extort you, now it's an extortion. Now it's a crime. 50K for per person. It's not for the betterment of the community in the neighboring area of Met Gala. It's not for none of that. But then y'all want to push this imagery as if that y'all doing something upstanding and worthwhile. How? When you're wearing a female dress, how can I respect you if you wear a woman's attire? I can't. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. I cannot respect you, and nothing you say to me is going to be credible. It's just not. But they pick and choose these people, like Gordo says. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to T in the building. It's a costume theme. Andre 3000. I like this costume. I feel like he was saying, "Music is me" with the piano in his back. I seen that. See again. So if it's a costume theme, then they should call it a costume party, in my opinion. But based on the origin of the Met Gala is basically a metropolitan museum arts institution that supposed to celebrate fashion. Now it does say costume. I will say that. So that's that's my mess up. That it is the Costume Institute benefit, right? But if you're talking about fashion, what in the fashion, I guess, based on the fashion, it would raise money for costumes. Cause that's what I think of when somebody said uh this is a bake sale, but this is for the football uniforms. You get what I'm saying? You go in there to buy baked goods for the football uniform. So when I see that this is supposed to be a fashion event based on getting money for the costume institute benefit, then it's for the benefit of costumes, not to actually wear a costume. So I definitely get what you're saying, T. But even with the point that my bro made, like some of these costumes, like how does it benefit when these guys are in there wearing see-through halter tops or
They're wearing clothes from fashion. They're wearing clothes from fashion industries and fashion houses that don't rock with us. Did we forget about the Gucci mask that they made a little while ago, or the racist campaigns that they have? Like these fashion houses don't rock with us, but yet you have these celebrities that pay 50K to wear their outfits. So the message always be lost to me. So you can't be a fake for the people over here, but you paying 50K to be with this fashion designer that don't rock with us. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't make no sense. That's why I never pay attention to celebrities because they all about the bread. They all about whatever campaign or whatever brand makes them look good.
yeah, so I just think it would be extra interesting to see a movie based on it and the actual true actual things that's going on because what it was meant for and what it evolved to, it to me it just misses every time. And then the fact that some of these celebrities when they get off the elevator, like they showed Dolce and her outfit was like regular as hell. And she wouldn't get off the elevator until she had like a damn shower curtain hospital thing around her so she could get in a car. It's like, yo, people gonna see the fit at some point. Like, to me, it's just not that serious if it's for the benefit of costumes. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. But I would love to see a movie based on that.
we don't. That shit happened, came and gone, and nobody talked about it after that. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember it was in the summer. Then it happened, and 2 days later, all the lights came back on, and that was it. All right, now we're going back to now school starts, and then that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody even talked about what happened, what caused it, what can we do in the future to make sure it don't happen again. You know what I'm saying? But it never was explained again and never was brought up. And I just find that very interesting that something of that magnitude happened also long ago to a city of like New York, and don't nobody talk about it now. It's like 22 some years later.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody talked about it since. You know what I'm saying? I remember in the movie with Denzel Washington. What was that movie? Oh man, came out in 2006. But basically, in the movie, they was explaining they was doing an experiment, and then they kind of alluded to the fact that their experiment caused the blackout. Yeah, so that was the only time there was an explanation about it. But when I mean a real explanation, there was no there was no reports. There was no eyewitness news on the scene with nothing. Nope, nothing. Well, I mean, they had nothing about it. The lights turned back on and everybody just went on their day. So I'd love to see a series as to what happened in the blackout, what caused it, and why was there such a silence about it afterwards.
I remember where I was and while the blackout was going on. Do you remember where you was at while the blackout was going on?
I was on the Ave.
Me personally, like Aaliyah was like just, I would say she was born maybe she was born like a few months, I would say, at that time. This is my daughter. She was born a few months by this time, but that was wild because I was actually working with this company that, we had to, go door to door with sales. And I had like this cart full of stuff and it was worth hundreds of dollars. And I had on a suit, brother was suit down all up in, or I was down at 125 125th in Harlem, and like all this chaos is going on. I'm like, it didn't seem much different because it's 125. Like that's Harlem. Like Harlem 125th is always chaos. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm on like Malcolm X Boulevard. I'm near like where the 4 train is at. I had walked from where the 2 train was at, and I'm on where the 4 train side, and it's just chaos. Now I walk further down. I'm also by Apollo, the Apollo side, and they like, yeah, you ain't gonna be able to get to the train, baby. Like, so somebody said, yo, you better do something with that cart, baby. You suited and booted. And I looked at him like, bro, don't make me get active in this suit. And then it was crazy. I tried taking the train. The train ended up stopping mid like in the tunnel. So because the lights went off, I had to get out the train with this damn cart of products from the NFL, NBA, all these different companies, and I had to pick the cart up, walking with, mind you, I'm in the suit, G, shoes, suited and booted in the damn in the train tracks, bro. I could feel the rats just running through my feet. You know what I'm saying? And it's wild dark. And then they had the little people from the train to give us a little light or whatever. Had to pick the joint up on the platform, climb on the platform. Had to take a shuttle bus back to the office in Manhattan, and I had to spend the night in Manhattan. Me and my daughter's mom, and our daughter was in Brooklyn with her mom. So that was like a scary night. I lost one of my bros from that night, and I almost lost another bro because my other bro he did get stabbed up, but he was able to live. So, yeah, man. There's a movie based on a blackout with he just did sentence. Michael B. Jordan and Shorty that don't think she all of a sudden now she won awards. She not one of us no more. She's Colombiana.
Always all done.
Yeah, so it's her, Michael B. Jordan, and Marlo from The Wire. They got a movie, and it was based on about Brooklyn, but they included the blackout in that movie.
I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, I think it's called Brooklyn or Blackout. Michael B. Jordan. I have to, but yeah, this came out. This came out like I would say a couple years later, if I'm not mistaken. Good movie, but what you're talking about is more in depth of what they did. They made it more like a Brooklyn story, but they just included the things that happened during a blackout. But yeah, I'm trying to look at his movie catalog. Damn, I can't even get the movie catalog. Can I get the movie catalog, please? All right, bet. What is this movie called? This was like early Michael B. Jordan. This was before he got in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Damn, they want. Oh, it's called Blackout. It's called Blackout. It came out 2007. Yeah. So make sure y'all tap into that. But that's still a great idea. Like I said, they wasn't more in depth of what you're talking about. All right, so that would be dope. That would be dope. All right, moving on to one of our most favorite segments of the show, one of y'all most favorite segments of the show, must see segment, must see movies, must hear music, must read books. All right, y'all. You want to start this one off? All right, so my first must-see movie, I actually just watched a couple days ago. It's hilarious. It came out in 2021. It stars Jack Funny, James Perkins, Adam Robinson, and Dorina Davis. This movie's called The Pandemic. Funny, funny movie. This is about obviously the pandemic when it hit. Bros was getting them PPP loans and the other, the SPA loans, and they was running up a bag. And you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see the Pandemic. Real funny movie. Second must see movie came out in 2005, directed by Breek Fisher. This stars Matthew McConaughey, Penelope Cruz, Steve Zahn, and William H. Macy. This movie is called Sahara. Fire movie about a doctor just trying to, find ways to heal the people and get the research. And she run into a young dude who's able to navigate his way through the deserts of the Sahara, where they have to capture. Have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see the Sahara, classic movie. My third final must see movie came out in 1995, directed by Tony Scott. This movie stars Denzel Washington, the late great Gene Hackman, James Garfino, and George Danzy. This movie is called Crimson Tide. Fire movie about a naval crew that just hired the young lieutenant, bring him on board to ship shape this situation, all at the same time coming from the Cold War. And you have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see Crimson Tide, Sahara, and the Pandemic. Make sure y'all tap in to see those movies. She's half Puerto Rican and half Dominican.
To chat, y'all know how I do. I always have a theme for my movies. This week is no different than last week. So my theme for my movies is to Esquire or not. So now these movies is top tier lawyers. So if you get in trouble in a situation, which one of these lawyers from these movies would you choose to represent you, right? So the first movie on this list is called The Client. Came out in 1994. Stars Susan Sarandon, Brad Renfro, Tommy Lee Jones, David Speck, Mary Louis Parker, Kim Coates, Anthony LaPlaga, Amy Hathaway, Andy Stahl, Ruby Wilson, and Mimi E. Good. It's about this young teen who's pretty much grew up on the wrong side of the tracks and has um, a pretty bad image of himself via the community. One day he sees witnesses a murder, and nobody's gonna believe him because he's from the wrong side of the track. So, but because he witnessed a murder, now he got FBI, DEA, CIA all on his ass to get him up out of here. And the only one person that can believe him is his lawyer. You know what I'm saying? But now you got to go watch the movie to find out what she does and try to situate him. Fire movie right here. You gotta tap into this one. Fire movie. Next one is called The Accused. Came out in 1988. Stars Jodie Foster, Kelly McGillis, Bernie Colson, Anne Hearn, Leo Rossi, Woody Brown, Steve Anton, Kim Karshoff, Carmen Argenzino, Andrew Cavadas, Scott Holland, and Peter Van Dorman. About a young chick who's living her young life, goes to a bar, gets violently attacked, but because of her quote unquote reputation, nobody believes her about her attack until she hires this lawyer to go fight the accusers. Fire movie, again, top tier. Now, would you pick this lawyer to represent you? You got to watch the movie to find out. Last one on the list is called Lincoln Lawyer. Came out 2011. Stars Matthew McConaughey, Ryan Phillippe, Marissa Tomei, Josh Lucas, Catherine Morning, Margarita Lavia, Sean Wigham, Aaron Carvel, Tracy Atkins, Francis Fisher, Lawrence Mason, Bob Gunton. So movies about this guy who goes out on a date with this chick. They have consensual connection. Then a couple of days later, she tries to hit him with the accusations, and now he has to hire this lawyer to represent him. Now his Lincoln lawyer, cool cat, you know what I'm saying, drives around in a 1965 Lincoln, you know what I'm saying, handling business how he do. But can he get this guy off? Well, you gotta watch the movie to find out. So to Esquire, not these top tier lawyers, who would you pick to be your lawyer from either the movie The Client, The Accused, or Lincoln Lawyer? So you gotta go watch the movies and pick your best lawyer. Let me know.
Sure, y'all go watch those movies. We giving y'all top 10 movies to enjoy each and every episode. Shout out to Tay in the building. Shout out to Tanya in the building. Appreciate y'all tapping in. As always, don't forget to hit them likes, hit them likes. We don't even mention that, but hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them 100s in the chat, y'all. All right, y'all. Moving on to our must hear portion of a must see. Uh, Y'all know how I do when it comes to this music, whether it's rap or hip hop. Sorry, whether it's hip hop or R&B, whether it's pop, new or old. I deal on a different vibranium and vibration where I want y'all to get great music. So this artist, you must put this artist on your playlist. 3 songs you must have if you are a true R&B fan. No matter what era, no matter what generation, if you love that R&B good old sound, put these 3 songs on your playlist. All right. This artist name is Karen Wheeler, fire artist. All right. Some of you may have heard her. Must put these 3 songs on your playlist. Number 1, I Adore You. Number 2, Back to Life. Uh, aka However Do You Want It. Number 3, pause. Number 3, Keep On Moving. Fire song. All 3 of these songs are classic songs. Some of y'all probably even know these songs when you hear it right off the bat because other artists sampled these songs. Fire songs, but y'all now know the name and the artist where it came from. And she also featured on some of these songs as well. Again, number 1, I Adore You. Number 2, Back to Life, However Do You Want It, pause. Number 3, Keep On Moving. Again, the artist name is Karen Wheeler. So make sure y'all put her on your playlist with those 3 songs. All right, y'all, moving on to must read books. Get your book game up. Pick up a book, get your mind right, get your mind right. So you want to start this one off?
Got a book for y'all. So the book is called The Color of Law. It's a forgotten history of how our government segregated America by Richard Rothstein. So when the invaders came in and brought their papal bull, that's what they used to as justification to subjugate, rape, pillage, and murder everybody over here. Now, when they got over here, they stripped you of your name and used black codes to now call you Negro. But now when you got quote unquote rights, now they had to create a new system to put you in. So this is what the color of law basically breaks down, where you in a subdivision of another subdivision of a system. So if you're not aware of that, then that's why all these things is gonna go over your head. So the color of law really breaks down how this part, with a stroke of a pen, you just lost all your rights by taking on a certain type of title, name, or title or name that they put on you that's not really for you. And the more you claim on it, the more you're never going to have your rights. So definitely tap into The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein.
Folks, but we need to know our original name from the tribes. But this book in particular, talk about the self care of us as men, of the culture, and how we able to find ways to the best way I could say it, a better way to heal ourselves. So, and these are just principles that we could use that are, foundational, that can help us with some sort of enlightenment of healing. So must get this book again. It's called Self Care for Black Men by Jor L. Carabolo. Jor L. Carabolo. Make sure y'all get that book. Fire book. So make sure y'all tap in. You got cologne for us?
Got cologne for y'all. Y'all look good. Y'all feel good. Y'all smell good. Y'all gonna do good. So this cologne this week is called Imaginary Authors, and the fragrance is from Saint Juliet. Fire fragrance. Again, it's called Imaginary Authors, and the fragrance is called Saint Juliet.
So y'all get that fragrance, y'all. The whole goal is to get the girl. You smell good, you feel good, you're gonna get good, get you a nice looking lady and go have some fun, get to know her, and on and on and on. So make sure y'all go get that cologne. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to wrap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. Button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Again, that's button the hyphenated sign snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. The FBI launches investigations into an online network, which is known as the 764. This particular network is allegedly extorting children, and they're targeting groups of children who are on social media and gaming platforms by extorting them into making the kids or the children send them violent photos or sexual content. What do you think about that?
They've been doing that like for a long time. Ever since they had chats on games and all that stuff, they've been doing it. So to really crack down on that, you need like a whole nother like division to really do that. So um if they could get more funding to focus on that, then yeah, they could actually solve a lot of crimes and stuff like that. So if they can definitely get the money, then I'm all for that.
Mhm. See, I'm with you, but this particular crime is so difficult to stop because you just never know who has the affection to see these type of things, and in our minds automatically we would think of the people that like this type of material. They will stick out like a sore thumb, like they look a certain way, they will act a certain way. No, it's people that look like me and you. It will be people that work regular jobs, and it's people that you see every time, anytime you go to the store or get gas, and they just seem like the most pleasant person, the nicest person. It could be your barber, it could be your teacher, it could be a football coach, it could be anyone. It could be a cop, it could be a lawyer, it could be any of these people. And that's the scariest part because we don't know who's a part of this network. And as much as we could assign people to stop this, because they still should assign people to stop it, but it's such a uphill climb that we have to continue to fight. That there's people on the inside that want this to continue to happen because this is the type of thing that they just like. You know, we'll find a judge that like this type of material, and he's helping. Y'all could go find the evidence, but y'all can only use this portion of the evidence, which in some secret way would exclude him or people like him in his community and his social group. So it's an uphill battle that we have to continue to fight. But it's like, damn, are we ever going to be able to crack down on it? Because there's people in high ranking positions that are about this type of behavior. So a movie that highlights this so perfectly is one of Denzel Washington's movies, which is one of my favorite movies, The Devil in the Blue Dress. When the whole movie, you're thinking about the movie is about the woman in the blue dress, but it's only about the woman in the blue dress because that woman has access to this type of material and a powerful man in the movie, and he needs to get those pictures, or if he don't get these pictures, he's not going to be able to run for mayor and all the so you got all types of people that like this type of material, and it's really unfortunate. They said it in the chat, it's horrific, and it's an uphill battle that we have to continue to fight. So it's just crazy. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. The Cleveland Browns, football NFL Cleveland Browns, changes rookie quarterback Shador Sanders' football number from number 2 to number 12. Instead, they gave it to an unproven player who's been on several NFL teams, DeAndre Carter, receiver DeAndre Carter. What do you think about that?
Something to sensationalize, something to talk about. You know what I'm saying? That's really all it is. Because they're gonna milk this and make it seem like it's some big thing. It's all for media, it's all for stunt, and just to keep whatever sensationalization they're gonna make out of it to keep that going. It's like, honestly, is this really legit news? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's for real news. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not anything important, more so to try to be like showcase, oh yeah, attaboy, we're gonna make you do what we want type of thing. Or you're not gonna get your number. We're gonna give it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's then they have to make it seem like he's not deserving of it. Like he ain't work hard too. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to get into the NFL. You feel me? So like that other person didn't work hard, but now he's used as a pawn too. You know what I'm saying? In the greater schematics of this game. So if and they always put two and two against each other to try to make it seem like it's something. Because he could have either turned it down too. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh nah, this Shador number, nah, I'm good. Or maybe he fought hard in his mind that he want that number. But it's all placating from people that pulling the strings.
I think within your explanation, you answered whether it was real news or not. So, like this player, he's never wore number 2 professionally. He worn it, in high school, but never in college, never in NFL. He's been on like 7 NFL teams. Um, me personally, you're seeing the fact that narratives take over the NFL. I've said it on many occasions. The NFL is not a talent based business, it is run on storylines. Not to say that they don't have talented people in the NFL. Of course, you're going to have talent in the NFL. You have some of the best talent, the best athletes in the world, some of, but it's not a talent based business. And people say, well, how is it not a talent based business? Because the NFL owners have a mindset based on how most men have a mindset about women. Women turn 21 every day, bro. So most NFL owners know that there's athletes that's going to be athletes every day. You're going to find a diamond in the rough every single day, every year, and it's always on schedule every year is a kid that we've never heard of. And then next year when college football come around, he blows up, he catches a whole bunch of passes, he runs a whole bunch of yards. He has the craziest arm we ever seen. He's bending off the outside, he covers well, whatever position he plays, he comes out of nowhere. And it happens every year. It's an organized meat market. So because of that, they're never in void of talent. There's like 5 different professional leagues that has talent. The NFL is supposed to be the top tier of all talent, which is not exactly true because every NFL player would tell you in their neighborhood or on their high school team, there was a guy that was better than them. So how can that mindset be built off talent? Now with Shador, how that connects is that at the end of the day, this is bigger than football. He has the number 1 pre-ordered jersey right now. and before they even made the announcement with the 12. So to me, when I look at the Browns organization, they just get in the way of their own equity. You bring in the most popular player on your team. Most people can't even name 5 people on the Cleveland Browns. People know Shador. He's the most popular player on your team that y'all got in the 5th round. Why change his number? That's basically stepping on your own nuts. It's just bad business. Now, some people say, well, they're gonna double back. They're gonna, if he makes the team or if he starts, he'll go from number 12 to wearing 2, and Shador's gonna come out and put a positive spin on it because 12 is nothing but 21 backwards, and that was his father's number. I get all that, but it's still stepping in the way of your own business. If you got the most popular player on your team, like, let's keep it real, he's gonna make the team, and at some point he's gonna start on the team. Let's keep it real. He's better than all the other quarterbacks they got. Let's keep it real. How does this help business when you just look like you're incompetent? Like, yeah, we're going to sell 2 jerseys at one time. We're going to have a 12 jersey and number 2 jersey. Nah, you're just messing it up when you could have foundational fans that's going to continue to support and build with this team. So to me, it's just bad business. Like, if he has the number 1 pre-order jersey, people are expecting that number 2, and you change it to 12, it's just bad business. You're not recognizing who's your brand and what your brand is. And they just trying to make it seem like, oh, this one player is not going to be bigger than the brand. You're right. No player is ever bigger than the brand because the NFL has been around for hundreds of a hundred years. But at this point in time, he does drive sales. People are going to go to the game to see him play. Let's keep this real. We just talked about being the owner of an NFL team. This is just bad business. Just bad business. Anything you want to add to that? Yeah. Uh,
Price a product that's worthy of you coming and spending your bread if they care, right?
right.
You may not win a championship, but at least you go to the NFC championship game one year. You may not go the next year, but y'all always competitive.
Something to look
Never
forward.
been that.
Right. There's something to look forward to.
Right. It's never been that. So it's like it's never been about the money. You know what I'm saying? Because they already got the money. So it's never been about that. If it was, their franchise be doing something every year, but it's not.
I agree on that aspect, man. So it's just crazy, man. Just bad, just terrible business, man. I don't know who's in charge of their marketing squad, but he needs to be fired because they did this with Mason Graham, the kid from Michigan. He wore number 55 in Michigan. People know him. It's not that he was just a good player, but people know him. And the guy that has 55, no disrespect to him, he's not going to be Mason Graham. No disrespect. Like, this is bad business. That's why I said the Philadelphia Eagles, they feel like they be cheating because they do things that make sense. Like, okay, he was popping in college. He's going to have the opportunity to be popping in the NFL. Okay, nobody on the team has his number. Give him his number. People are going to expect it. He's going to sell jerseys. This is crazy. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Now there's a fan from Colorado, a Colorado fan. He sues the NFL. This is very real. Sues the NFL for $100 million after Shador Sanders' late draft pick. What do you think about that?
Basis for suing the NFL.
He, well, he basically saying because he felt like it was collusion that Shador got picked late in the draft. So that's his basis for the lawsuit.
But if he has evidence to prove that there's collusion, then you know what I'm saying? As long as you got evidence to back it up. Now they gotta prove that there was no collusion and it was because of all the stuff that they said in media. So as long as you have evidence to prove that, I don't see why not try to try to sue them. But
But
Yeah,
I
but this is America. You know what I'm saying? You could do all this shit. You know what I'm saying? You could sue anybody you want. This is America, baby.
I never heard that though. Like, yo, Shador, like, yo, you go to camp, bro. I'm gonna take care of this. Like,
Don't even trip. Saying win or lose, I got you. Don't even worry about it, baby.
yeah, yeah. And it is very smart that Shador doesn't even associate himself with whatever's going on with that because already you know what I'm saying? Like the narrative is already painted on him crazy right now. I've never heard of this before. I've never heard of a fan having emotional distress over what somebody else was going through and being able to sue and capitalize on it. I honestly think the case is going to be thrown out because they have said in different forms of different players saying that there was some sort of collusion because there was owners that said take him off the board completely. Even if they needed a backup quarterback, they said take him off the board. Now this was being said by several NFL insiders and people that's working, but obviously they're not going to say which owner or this, that, and the third, or whatever the case may be. So I don't know if you're using that as evidence because that's not going to be strong enough. So, this is going to be interesting moving forward, but I've just never heard of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's cool. Like, yo, I know you're going through it, bro, but I'm going to take care of this light work for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go get that bag. I'll come back and hit you off with a little 10 piece. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. You know what I mean? And everything going to be cool. So, all right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Uh, Kai Cenat streaming universe going crazy. I even applied to the streamer universe. It had over 7.4 million requests within the first 2 hours. The link crashed immediately of how many people want to tap in and get a chance to go to streamer you and get, that information from Kai Cenat, his team on, continuously to build streaming platforms and podcasting and the whole nine. What do you think about the fact that over 7.4 people request to get, have their application put in?
I didn't even know about that, but that's a lot of people trying to get into that space. If we create a space for ourselves and control that space, then that's all we need. But if they control it, then you're gonna answer to them. You know what I'm saying? That's just how the game goes. So the more people they use to get people to follow them, that's you know what I'm saying, that's gonna be the new gatekeeper. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. The same game, different players.
Me personally, I applied for the university myself because there's just information. I'm big on information, and my biggest belief is you cannot unlearn something. Anything I do, whether it's music, whether it's podcast or streaming, whether the businesses that I own, I run it at relent abilities. I want to be the very best, and it's probably because of my upbringing, playing sports, boxing, football, basketball. I'm relentless with anything that I do. I have an addictive personality in the sense of anything that I do, failure is not an option. So I don't have no excuse not to do this. This is something I want to do. They got the information. It's something that I could learn and add to this show and all the other things that I got going on this channel. So I definitely want that information because me myself personally, I've always been my own boss. So for me to have that type of information and apply it to what I have going on, it's a no-brainer for me, just me personally. But shout out to Kai Cenat and the 7.4 people that's trying to get in. And that was just in the first 2 hours. So I can't even imagine what it's like now, because this was probably like 2 days ago. So I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, but shout out to him though for having and willing to share resources, give information, and that's what I think the university would be based on. They should do a number system or a ticket system so the link won't create a crash again. Yeah, I mean, regardless on how they do it, I understand that they picking people, they go into like their people's platforms and they choosing who they want to choose, and that's the ultimate choice on how they're going to choose during the process. You have to do the application, and and then they come to your to your different platforms, and if they choose you, you're in. If they don't, hey, it is what it is. But me personally, I'm unstoppable. So to gain more information, just make it even better for me. You know what I mean? So, but again, shout out to everybody trying to get that information. It's a lot of information to be got. There's some money out here to be made. So shout out for the opportunity. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Iconic Motown singer Smokey Robinson and his wife Frances Robinson. Four women have filed a lawsuit alleging nearly 2 decades of sexual assault, sexual battery, false imprisonment, gender violence, and creating a hostile work environment towards the singer and his wife. What do you think about that?
It's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It's certain dots shouldn't be tied together. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like, okay, why is you have this person? Now we have Diddy's case who's going through the same thing right now as we speak. Whatchamacall, fled the country years ago. He got pending stuff on his head. And it's just like, damn, how y'all get compromised like that?
You talking about Russell?
Any of the same alleged cases, alleged whatchamacall, situations that they're being put in. Now, again, there's always two sides to the story. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go full fledged and believe this person, but yet again, it's like, why are they using this to try to destroy your legacy now? You know what I'm saying? What's going on with the timing now? That's my other side. So the timing now is kind of questionable, but then again, it's like, you know what I'm saying? They still bringing a grievance out there into public too. So still have to investigate it. So we just got to see what the investigation comes up with. If there is investigation, are we just going to go by their word that some happened like, what, 60 years ago? So I don't know. That's just crazy to me.
Looked it up. Smokey Robinson is 85 years old. 85. So these alleged acts happened when he was at least in the 60s, because they said from the last 2 decades. So he would have to be at least 60 if these alleged acts had happened. So a 65-year-old man have you working around his house and he just taking it while he has a functioning wife. He's a businessman. Like it just doesn't make sense to me personally. If he did these acts, then he got to face the consequences, hands down. Like to have all this on his jacket, and if this is happened to be true, got to face the consequences. I'm just not down with violence of anyone, especially women. But at the end of the day, if he didn't do these acts, then like, what are y'all looking to gain from an 85-year-old man, a legend at that? So and it's funny that you had made mention of it, but I can't think of, and it's sad to say this, I can't think of one of our top tier iconic anything businessmen, entertainers, athletes, anything, educators, of men from our culture that we all call brothers, that doesn't have that thing on their jacket. I can't think of one. And I'm talking about the top tier. I'm not talking about the guys who are great at what they do, and they could be in the same conversation, but they just not as consistent for whatever reason, or they just not as in a public eye, whatever the case may be. I'm talking about like our top tier dudes. R. Kelly's a top tier dude. Michael Jackson's a top tier dude. Bill Cosby's a top tier dude. Martin. Eddie, and several businessmen. Kobe, top tier dude. LeBron James, top tier dude. Michael Jordan. But everybody has something. Everybody on their jacket. I cannot think of one that doesn't have something on it. Bob Johnson, businessman, on their jacket. So um, this is hard for me to believe that. I'm just be honest. Like, and Smokey Robinson is not a big dude. Pause. Like, he's not a physically opposing guy. No disrespect, Mr. Robinson. He's just not a at 65. Like he. I just can't see it. But again, if he is guilty of this, if this is something that he's done, then he has to face the penalties. But I just don't see it. I don't believe this at all. At all. At all. Anything you want to add to that before we move on? Yeah, that's crazy. A guy like Smokey, his resume, his status, and everything that he's contributed to the culture through music. Come on, man. That's just wild, man. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Head football coach Colorado Deion Sanders dropped new sneakers, all red edition, dedicated to his mother. It's the mother edition, all red Deion sneakers. What do you think about that? Have you ever seen?
Shout out to his mom. You know what I'm saying? Good marketing.
I thought that was an amazing idea with the actual color and what it represents for his mom. And I've never seen a public figure do what he does and hold his mom to everything that he does with him. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I could do this, all this because of my mother. You know what I mean? So that's fire. The fact that he has a sneaker dedicated to her for her, where she could enjoy, and she could see like, damn, like my son really appreciated me all these years and things of that nature. So that's just fire. You know what I'm saying? How many of our kids take us to dinner at some point, let alone dedicate some kicks to us? You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Deion Sanders for that. That is fire. The sneakers look fire too. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're not kind of fire. They are fire though. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. NBA playoffs, y'all. NBA playoffs. It's going crazy. It's going crazy right now. You have the Indiana Pacers up 2-0 on the Cavs. We lost my bro. We lost my bro. I don't know what's going on, but we lost my bro. He'll be back in a second. No worries. But the NBA playoffs is going crazy. The Pacers is up 2-0 on the Cavs. The Thunder and Nuggets, they're tied apiece at one apiece. Uh, Golden State, and who won the Golden State and Minnesota game tonight? I know Golden State won the first game. So Minnesota tied it up tonight. So they is one apiece in that series. And then surprisingly, you have the New York Knicks. Oh, my bro, he getting back. Yo,
Pick me off.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, so the NBA playoffs is going crazy. The Pacers is up 2-0 against the Cavs. Thunder, Nuggets is one apiece. Golden State, Minnesota, one apiece. And the Knicks surprisingly upset the Boston Celtics on the Boston Celtics home court, and they're up 2-0 in the series. First and foremost, what do you think of the Pacers and Cavs, the Pacers being up 2-0 in that series?
Well, like it's gonna be top tier ball that all around. So this is just some of the best basketball we've seen in a while. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to these teams.
The Thunder and the Nuggets series is crazy. That series is crazy. It's 1-1. Jokic is putting on a show. That I thought they was gonna lose the first game. I blinked my eye. Denver hit the last game winning shot. Same thing with the Indiana Pacers. So like the sequence of these games is wild. Like Halliburton had to miss a free throw, catches his own rebound, shakes a dude, step back 3-pointer. The Pacers win that game. Golden State down bad tonight. They got smoked by Minnesota tonight, so that series is one apiece, and that series has been electric. What do you think, obviously, of the New York Knicks in the Boston series so far? I think that series is most surprising because Boston had these games every game. These first two games, they was up by 20 in both these games in the fourth quarter, and somehow, some way, they get in their own way, and the Knicks little by little chomp wood and bring it back. So I know for a fact if the Knicks beat the Boston Celtics in this playoffs, New York City is going to be upside down. It's gonna have zero to no crime in New York City for the first time in a long time, and it's gonna be upside down. I know that for a fact if they win this series. Now, if they win the finals, that's a whole other thing in itself. Y'all know I'm a diehard Brooklyn Nets fan. I if anything, I do want to see the New York Knicks do their thing. If it's not the Brooklyn Nets, it just be y'all damn Knicks fans, yo. Cause then now y'all Knicks fans gonna be talking y'all shit to us. Like, oh yeah, y'all Brooklyn, da da da. I was like, what you mean, baby? What you mean? Like, we supposed to be rooting for each other, but nah, it become nah, we ain't trying to hear all that once one team does better than the other. So but I actually hope that they, go as far as they could go. Hopefully, win the finals because I've never seen the New York Knicks win a championship ever, ever. I've seen them go to a champ. I think I've seen the New York Knicks in my lifetime go to two finals: the Rockets and the Spurs, and they lost pretty bad in both. So, but they got a good team. They got a good team. But Thibodeau, he plays these guys too many minutes. He don't play his bench at all, which is crazy. But the playoffs has been amazing. Playoffs has been amazing. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Maryland safety Avante Williams, starting safety Avante Williams, have been arrested for murder. What do you think about that? Avante Williams from the University of Maryland, starting safety on your team.
I don't know what to say about that one. That's hopefully I don't know. Who's the victim?
As of yet. And these type of cases, I think mainly because of the factors of the families, notifying the families and things of that nature. When it came out, it wasn't disclosed as of yet.
Do the time. But if you didn't do it, hopefully they don't try to jam you up. But if you did it, I mean you did it.
If he did do it, meaning you have you have a lot of these athletes. Again, it's a meat market. But a lot of these teams don't do the research on the type of kids that they have on their program. A lot of kids is not from the best of neighborhoods, so they take that energy wherever they go. I know what that feels like. I'm straight up and down from Brooklyn, and the older you get, you make better decisions based on the things you're not willing to lose. And if you put that in the front of your mindset, you can never really be tricked out of your position. Um, I think this is very unfortunate because he was a prospect, but this could have happened if he was to make it to the NFL, just based on the mentality. Because you got a lot of athletes out there that can't separate being athletes from not being in the street. When you watch football games now, a guy makes a big hit or a big catch, he throwing extendos at the sideline on the other team. It's like, yo, bro, this is not that, bro. Like you playing SEC football, bro. This is not extendo time. You know what I'm saying? So they carry that same energy off the field. And unfortunately, this was the type of situation that ended up happening. And for whatever reason that he did do this, I'm pretty sure there was a different avenue that he could have took to avoid this because he had a real future. So it's just unfortunate that he didn't make a better decision if he did do this. So All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. A shout out to Samantha in the building. That was whack. Like, yo, come up. We don't mind good jokes, but y'all got if you're gonna swing the jokes, make the jokes land. Don't be whack with the joke. That was trash. But shout out to you though for supporting this show. Hit that like button, Samantha. But that joke was trash. Shout out to Drew. Instead of hooking you up with some tickets to the block party, I'm just going to expedite your situation. He was looking for extra attention for no reason. Um, Nah, Samantha, it's all love, baby. You just gotta give me better jokes. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind the jokes, but you gotta give me better jokes. You know, jokes gotta be hitting. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. According to ABC 7 Chicago, a man finds squatters in his property and decided to move in with the squatters until they moved out. What do you think about that? Yeah, so according to ABC 7 Chicago, a man finds squatters in his property and decided to move in with them until they moved out of the property.
Property. Well, they knew. Well, yeah, that's the way you're gonna get them out because after when they squat, now if they got some mail going in there, now it's a whole issue. Now it becomes civil, and it's a whole bunch of steps you gotta do to get them out your own property, even though they walked in there illegally. So, you know what I'm saying? He came in there, probably was the worst roommate they ever had. It was like, oh, we taking our bags and going somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Got him up out of there. Now he gonna change the locks, change the doors, all types of shit, change the windows and everything.
Never heard a tactic like this from people dealing with their properties being squatted like this. Is very smart, and I think it's going to work. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the movie Pacific Heights, but it kind of reminds me of that in some sort of way where Michael Keaton did a masterful job playing that role. If you haven't heard of it, look it up and watch it. I'm telling you, I don't want to ruin it for y'all, but it kind of reminds me of that situation. But yeah, I've never heard somebody do that before. Like instead of arguing with y'all back and forth about y'all leaving my spot, I'm just gonna come in here with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing y'all can do about it because it's my spot. So you just move into someone home without permission. Believe it or not, there's people that own several properties, and like, let's keep it real. You can only really live at one property at a time. I mean, you could live in multiple properties, but the probability that you're going to go to multiple properties on a daily basis, they could be in different areas. So it's very possible, especially when you own several properties, where people just like, yo, ain't nobody in that joint. And there's a way to actually own property by squatting on property, especially if the owners is not intended to the property and not making their presence being felt on the property for long periods of time. You can actually get the property through adverse possession if you have the property for a certain amount of time and the ownership of the house just doesn't have interest in the house. Like they just don't care about upkeeping it or making their way to the property. So there's different ways and why people do squat in hopes that that's happening. So who's the okay? Let's keep it respectful. Let's keep it respectful, y'all. Let's keep it. It was all good and fun, y'all. It's all good and fun, y'all. Yeah, so all right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Our next segment, petty thoughts or brought to you by by Bravo Section. Make sure you go to bigbravosection.com. Again, bigbravosection.com. If you're in the Miami area, you can book a session with one of the best photographers in the world. If you're not, you can still book that session. They'll come out, take care of your session, but it starts at bigbravosection.com. You can buy dope photography and you can book your sessions. You got a petty thought for us, petty law, petty words, Black's Law Dictionary.
And one word from Webster's Merriam Dictionary. So we'll start with that one. I just thought it was interesting to look up the word Semite, just because people like to trick you out of your position using words. So let's just see what the meaning, so nobody can ever trick you out your position ever again. So the meaning of Semite is a member of any of the number of peoples of ancient southwestern Asia, including the Akkadians, Phoenicians, Hebrews, and Arabs, and are descendants of these peoples, a member of a modern people speaking a Semitic language. All right. So if you fall in line of ancient Southwestern Asia, we're not talking about modern Asia. We're talking about ancient Asia. So that's a different demographic, different tone, different skin tone of people. We're talking about Akkadians. You know what I'm saying? Phoenicians. When's the last time you heard about somebody calling somebody a Phoenician? But they still walk around here to this day. You just don't know that because they tricked you out your spot, took your name, gave you a different name, and told you from over there. And then the last one is Hebrew. You already know who those people are. So next word on the list is, I gave you the book called The Color of Law, but let's see what the actual color of law means in the Black's Law Dictionary. So this is the main component that they use to trick everybody out their spot, not just melanated people. They saw that it was a good science project to use on melanated people, and then they figured out, fuck it, we're just gonna use on everybody. So the color of law means the appearance or semblance without the substance of legal right, misuse of power possessed by the virtue of state law, and made possibly only because wrongdoer is clothed with authority of the state. So which people are clothed in authority of the state? That would be the judge, right? So in action taken under the color of law, when used in this context of federal civil rights, remember, you don't have human rights, you have civil rights. So that means you don't have no rights at all because they're just privileges that they can take away anytime they want. Human rights is something that they can never take away from you. But we don't fight for human rights, we fight for civil rights. Again, another word they use to trick you out your position. So civil rights statutes or criminal laws terms is synonymous with the concept of state action underneath the 14th Amendment, which means pretense of law and subdues actions of officers who undertake to perform their official duties. Actions taken by private individuals may be under the color of state law for purposes of governing the deprivation of civil rights uh, when a significant state involvement attaches to action. So color of law is very deep, very important that you understand color of law because that is the main component that they use every day to trick you out your position every day. So next word on the list is commandment. In French law, it's a writ served by a huissier pursuant to a judgment of pursuant to a judgment or to an executor notary deed. It is an object as to give notice to the debtor that is, if he does not pay the sum to which he has been commanded by the judgment or which he engaged to pay, but that does not pay by notarial deed, his property will be seized and sold. All right. Last word on the list is Commerce Court, which is a federal court in existence from 1910 to 1913, which had power to review and enforce determinations of the Interstate Commerce Commission. I wonder why they got rid of that, or they probably compartmentalize this department into another department that we just don't know where that department is today. So that's what they commonly do sometimes. They have a department which is doing right for the people, but they're doing too good for the people. So there's like, nah, we gotta get rid of it. So we're gonna compartmentalize it in another department. You not know that the U.S. Postal Service and the United States Post Office is two separate entities, but they're in the same building. So they make you think they're one and the same, but they're totally different entities. So that's one aspect of that. So these words this week were Semites, color of law, commandment, and commerce court.
Y'all send my bro some words to look up for the next episode, but be serious about these words. These words have power, and we use them every day, and we don't know what they mean. We hear on social media, we pass down words that we don't know the information for real or what's behind it. So words have power. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our Keep the Lie Live segment. The Lie Live. So my Keep the Lie Live for this episode is I'm kind of tired of like the man versus woman back and forth, but it is necessary because men have things that we have to make sure that's needed, and women have things that they want to make sure that's needed in the conversation. But in the real world, in real life, a lot of the things that we see on the internet about, what women is going to date or what guys is willing to date or whatever the case may be. Like, let's keep it real. When we're dealing with people and you meet somebody, all that shit go out the window. I mean, as men, you could definitely have uh your I'm trying to find the right word, but as men, we could definitely have our preferences, and that should not be shame, ladies. Same thing for y'all. Y'all have y'all preferences. It's not going to be shame. We just going to lean with it, rock with it, right? But at the end of the day, when I look on the internet, all this internet BS about what women are saying and what men saying in real life, if you go to an actual bar, if you go to an actual party, a baby shower, if you just randomly walk down the street, when you meet people, all that shit go out the window if you don't have a real principle or foundation that you're leaning on. When you meet them, you say it straight off the bat. And it's like, yo, this is how I move. And if this is how you gonna move with me, cool. If you're not, cool. Because when I see women on the internet saying, "Oh, it's sassy," I seen something so stupid where now it's sassy if a guy is in the car with his boy, and just so happenly he's in the passenger side, that makes him sassy because he's in the passenger side. Why you don't have your own car to drive? Like yo, like we gotta stop making up these things online and try to bring it into real world, real life because that's not real. Because in the real world, in real life, when you're dealing with people, you don't come across genuine people every single day. So if you got the hint that if you met somebody, especially for us as men, if we feel like we meet a woman that's like truly genuine and is in tune to what we need and what we have going on, and it's going to be in service of us and the household, then that's not somebody we just going to like let go. That's somebody that we're really trying to that's somebody we really trying to build into so that way we could have something bigger. Pause. So when I see all this internet stuff with, women like, yeah, I don't like eating at this restaurant. I'd rather go to that restaurant or, a guy, I can't take a guy serious unless he takes me to Roof Chris. Like, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I've been to nice restaurants before and I've been on a date to nice restaurants before, but that's not like a pre thing that I'm doing. That's not the first thing I'm doing. I want to see how you going to lean with it, rock with it when we do something regular. Because honestly, I never took a woman anywhere and she complained at any place that I took her, whether it was McDonald's in high school, a pizza store in high school, whether it was Applebee's in college, whether it's Applebee's as an adult. I don't even eat restaurant food to keep it a buck with y'all. Like, but the point that I'm making, I've never took a woman anywhere, whether it's cheap or regular or whatever the case may be. It's not extravagant that she didn't say, yo, and look me dead in my face and be like, yo, I had a great time tonight. I had a great time with you. You coming back to my place, right? They looked at me and said that to me. So obviously, when you see all this internet stuff, it's nothing but BS, because when somebody like you and they lean with you, rock with you, they don't care if y'all just walking down the street. They don't care. They like, yo, me and my man walked down the street and we had a conversation. We was joking. We had a good time walking down the street. I've seen homeless dudes. Every time I see a homeless dude, he got a chick with him. So again, in the real world, when you meet somebody that you down for and they down for you, you don't let none of this internet BS get in the way of none of that. So I need people to really understand and get back to the foundation of seeing the value. Women, y'all seeing the value in us, because majority of the men that I know, we know the value of y'all. We know the value of y'all, but each of us as men, we have our own thing, because every man is different. We have our different things that we need done as far as what we need to be in service of as individuals. You know what I'm saying? Like, my bro has different things that he need done that I need done. Pause. Right? And I'm not talking about from a sexual standpoint. I'm talking about from a spiritual standpoint. I'm talking about from a mental standpoint. It's just different points of things that each man needs and wants in their woman. So especially I need the women to understand the value that we have in each other, because men, we want women. But in this era, we're not going to build with somebody if we're going to get the short end of the stick, because we've seen it for generations. We're no longer in the 60s. We're no longer in the 70s. We're no longer in the 80s. We're in the 2000s. And all we see when people get married, when men, when the relationship ends, the woman is the one that opens up the divorce conversation and goes through with getting the papers of the divorce. So a man is left with half of the shit that he had. Why go through that shit? So I need people to really get back to really seeing the value in each other, and seeing what we could really build. Because at the end of the day, time waits for no man. Like, I really feel like our era have been in a super funk ever since, like, I would say 2019. When COVID hit, when COVID came, it's like we lost like 2 years of sheer connection, of going out, of meeting people, just the possibilities and all of that. You know what I mean? So we need to get back to seeing the value of each other and not take the internet for spoken word. It's the internet is entertainment. It's, oh, look at this funny shit. Look at that. That's what that's for. Not for spoken word to indoctrinate into your real life. Anything you want to add to that? So again, I want to see, again, men and women really get back to each other. Really getting back to it. Like, cause it's crazy right now. Like, I seen a girl in the Apple store earlier today, and she had no shame of what she had on. It was see through everything. Like literally, she had see through everything. And I'm looking like, and then there was another girl sitting across from her with her boyfriend. And the girl, I mean, the boyfriend, he had to play it off. He looking over here, he looking for, how you looking for the people to come help you with the green shirts or whatever. And she's looking directly at her, like, I can't believe this woman done wore this stuff, and everybody in here could see all her goodies, especially my dude could see all her goodies and all that. And she had no shame. No shame. So again, we have to see the value in each other, and we have to get back to a real thought process on how we representing ourselves to get chose. That's my keep the lie live for this episode. I want to thank y'all for tapping in. Y'all been amazing. Y'all been amazing. Y'all been engaging in the chat. I want to thank all of y'all for engaging in the chat. Y'all been amazing. This is episode 157. We're on every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30 p.m. So make sure y'all come back to support, especially if this is your first time watching, maybe your second time. Hit that like, hit the 100s, hit that like, hit the 100s. Tap into the membership portion of our page. Different memberships get different access. So make sure y'all tap in. A like and a subscribe will suffice, because it helps us with the growth of the show. And again, we just want to thank y'all, man. I want to thank some of the sponsors of the show. Bravo section, button snaps on OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me up on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild, or you can hit my bro on his Instagram at. So if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, hit us up on Instagram. Also, got a new album coming out, so make sure y'all be ready. My new EP, I should say, is only 5 songs, but it's fire. My new EP is called Winners Loyalty, so be on the lookout for that. It comes out May 26th. Again, May 26th. Winners Loyalty. In the mean in between time, just type in Ashley Lovechild. I got some fire music, so continue to support and show that love. No, my bro got his website. Make sure y'all tap in, tap in. Also, want to thank the presenter sponsor of this show, Button Snaps. Again, where you get the finest of movies, shows, and documentary for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. So make sure y'all tap in as well. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers, y'all. 20,000 subscribers. We a little over 11. So again, hit that all notification bell in the subscribe section. Like, leave a comment. Got over 400 rewatches of this podcast on this channel. So make sure y'all watch. Great conversational starters for your friend, family, and for your coworkers. So again, we want to appreciate y'all and thank y'all for supporting the show. We'll see y'all this Sunday. We're gonna see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. So make sure y'all tap in. Y'all already know, man. It's love. And again, we'll see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. No, is today Sunday? No, today's Thursday, right? See y'all Sunday. I see I'll be getting my that's how busy I be, you know what I'm saying? See y'all this Sunday. We out.